guys, welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give this video a big thumbs up, and we'll get started here. We have some stuff going on. So as you know, I don't know if a lot of you have heard, but in Iowa they had that big land hurricane that swept through, and 50% of their crops are, or I don't even know how many, but it's most of their crops are gone. And just so you know, huge percentage of the United States relies on their crops. So I wanted to show you this. So this was back in April. The UN tried to warn us, but we weren't getting any news coverage for it here in the United States. They were trying to warn us, but the UN came out with this article saying, as famines of biblical proportion looms, Security Council urged to act fast. The world has not only been facing a global health pandemic, but also a global humanitarian catastrophe. The UN Food Relief Agency chief told the Security Council on Tuesday. Hunger pandemic. There's a Twitter from the World Food Program. From COVID spreading, they're warning of a hunger pandemic. The truth is, we do not have time on our side, so let's act wisely and let's act fast. It's critical that we have to come together as one united global community to defeat this disease. So again, here you see more talk about one world problems. Okay, and coming together as one world to beat these types of crises. Mind you, this is going to be a problem that the Antichrist is probably going to be solving as well. So noting that the global spread of COVID-19 this year has sparked the worst humanitarian crisis since the World War II, that's a big claim, guys. Executive Director of the World Food Program, David Beasley, pointed to deepening crises, more frequent natural disasters, and changing weather patterns, says we're already facing a perfect storm. They're even saying that we're having crazy more natural disasters and changing weather. It's God, guys. It's the last days. As millions of civilians in conflict, scarred nations teeter on the brink of starvation, he said, famine is a very real and dangerous possibility. Mr. Beasley painted a grim picture of 135 million people facing crisis levels of hunger or worse, coupled with an additional 130 million on the edge of starvation prompted by coronavirus, noting that WFP currently offers a lifeline to nearly 100 million people, up from 80 million just a few years ago. If we can't reach these people with the life-saving assistance they need, our analysis shows that 300,000 people could starve to death every single day over a 3-month period, he upheld. This does not include the increase of starvation due to COVID-19. Wow. So he asked that all involved in fighting the fighting provide swift and unimpeded humanitarian access to vulnerable communities, and for coordinated action to support life-saving assistance, along with $350 million in new funding to set up a network of logistics hubs to keep worldwide humanitarian supply chains moving. Mr. Beasley also raised the need for early warning systems. If we don't prepare and act now to secure access, avoid funding shortfalls and disruptions to trade, we could be facing multiple famines of biblical proportions within a few months. In closing, he underlined, we do not have time on our hands, so let's act wisely and let's act fast. This was back in April 2020. Then now, on top of this, so then we have the locusts, right, that are spreading, and they're continuing to migrate. They went to China. They were in multiple countries. That also was causing famines. Then we have Iowa. So here I'm going to show you a couple videos that I have here from Iowa, or from people from Iowa, and what happened there, so you guys can see and get it. So here it is.
Hi, my name's Bailey. I'm getting ready to take a shower at noon on a Friday with a lantern in the dark because I don't have power, and neither does about 500,000 Iowans. We suffered a natural disaster on Monday that there is absolutely no national news coverage on, so I'm going to talk to you about why you should care what is happening in Iowa right now. Early Monday afternoon, Iowa was hit with a derecho, which is basically a land hurricane in Iowa. My house was one of the lucky ones. We just had a bunch of trees go down in our driveway, but there are so many Iowans that are struggling right now. To put Iowa into perspective, we're number 1 in corn production, number 1 in soybean production, number 1 in pig production, and number 1 in egg production. And so far, almost 50% of the state's crops were destroyed in the storm. This picture was taken a couple days ago from space. The light green shading you see there is flattened fields. You can see it from space, and there is still no national news coverage.
Since the news isn't covering it, I'm going to show you what happened in Iowa this week. What was basically a Category 2 hurricane came through the entire state of Iowa. These arrows are pointing to over $1 billion worth of crop damage. Iowa's first, second, third, and fourth largest cities all got hit. This storm had over 100-mile-an-hour winds and left millions without power. And after 3+ days, some still don't have power. An estimated $10 billion worth of damage occurred, with this storm that traveled over 700 miles in 14 hours. In the Cedar Rapids area, nearly every building has damage, most businesses are closed, and internet and LTE is spotty to non-existent. Money and help follows news coverage, so please share and like to help the people around this area.
I was gonna start editing my video today for this particular video, and I saw this on the news page. And it has to do exactly with this subject. So I could not believe this, and it makes me disgusted. So I had to share it. So Jong Un, orders pet dogs to be confiscated in North Korean capital. Are you kidding me? So, North Korean dictator Jong Un has ordered pet dogs to be confiscated in the county's capital, saying the pooches represent Western decadence. But their owners fear Fido is really headed for someone's dinner table. Kim issued the directive in July to round up the pets, claiming that they were part of a tainted trend by Borgias ideology. Borgias. Sorry. Told that the English edition of something, a South Korean newspaper. Ordinary people raise pigs and livestock on their porches, but high-ranking officials and the wealthy own pet dogs, which stoked some resentment among the lower classes, the source said. Are you kidding me? Authorities have identified households with pet dogs and are forcing them to give them up or forcefully confiscating them and putting them down. But while the oppressive regime says that the move is to clamp down on capitalist extravagance in Pyongyang, the dog owners are fearful that, given North Korea's food shortage and propensity for eating dog meat, the directive has only come about to feed the masses. The dog owners are cursing Kim Jong behind his back, which I would definitely do so as well, but otherwise their hands are tied. The source laminate. That's it. Guys, this makes me disgusted. If this ever comes to America, I swear on my life that I will never, ever give my dog up. Like, kill me first, because I will never give my dog up. She is part of my family. And that will never happen. This makes me, like, seriously so upset and so sick. I feel so bad. Can you imagine, like, the little kids, like, watching it happen when it's, like, their little pet doggy? This breaks my heart. Okay, and now here is the guy from one of the councilmen, and then listen to the very end how he gets cut off. They cut him off because they know what's happening and they know what's going on, and they cut him off.
The Secretary mentioned none of the lending facilities established have targeted the needs of our agriculture industry. Now, why do I mention that? Food. It's coming. I mean, I can't see why people can't see this crisis. Food shortages are coming. It's almost like the farmers have been the forgotten ones. Are they qualifiable as small businesses? Many of them don't know. They're sort of out there, just drifting along the misty flats. What are you all doing to help lift up and make sure that we give our farmers, our rural communities, the kind of help that they need? Because all the food chain is going down. You hear about the closures. The food processors are going out. Farmers are coming. These are small, most of them, but they're very important. Why can't they be qualified as small businesses? Where are they? They're getting lost in the shuffle. And if we get a food shortage, we're in,
Thank you, Mr. Lukemeyer.
Now notice they cut him off.
Crazy, right? It's like they know what's happening. This is crazy. We were told that this would happen in the last days. So I had another dream last night, and it was like basically kind of confirming the famine in the United States. It was the Antichrist, and in my dream he was the Antichrist, and he looked just like the Antichrist from the Left Behind guy was talking, and he was up on stage and he was telling us all, he was talking about this global crisis we had in the United States about the famines or whatever, and I was eating like chicken nuggets like right there too in this place. It's specifically saying like how like chicken nuggets is gonna now be called like something fancy meat. I don't know, think of like some like really expensive steak that's like a couple $100 at a restaurant. Like that was what like he was making, like these chicken nuggets from like McDonald's were gonna end up being like that kind of in comparison to like a really expensive steak at a restaurant. That's how in need we were of food. And it was gonna be really hard and rare to find even a chicken nugget. It was just really interesting, and like that means like no McDonald's, those types of places were gonna be like out of a lot of that kind of stuff. As I'm editing this video, I wanted to be very clear about something, because I've been getting a lot of comments on my other dream videos that I am not taking this dream literally, and I'm not saying that I'm a prophet either by any means, and I'm not saying that it's going to happen just like this and we're going to be like so short of chicken nuggets, or that all of the fast food chains are closing down or anything like that. No, I just think it was a figurative dream, just like kind of warning just the fact that we're just going to be going into, that America is going to be going into a famine, and that we're just overall just confirming a famine, not confirming any particular food item or anything like that. And I'm not saying that that's going to be I wasn't naming a new name for chicken nuggets. This is just, I think, just a confirmation, just talking about the famine in America, period. Remember though, God will always provide his children with what they need. So keep looking up, keep praying, and remember, if you want to be a child of God, just ask him. I will put the gospel message in here and how to become a child of God. And I know a lot of people that are not believers think that everyone is a child of God, and that is not true. He loves everybody, wants everybody to be a child of God, but we are not all children of God. We are adopted into his family. That is when we accept his invitation. Accept him now, today, and then just remember he will provide. And just remember to keep having faith, and let's pray for those that are in Iowa, because they suffered. A lot of them, their houses are destroyed and they're having a really hard time. Millions of them are out of power. Let's really pray and lift up our brothers and sisters. They need God to provide for them right now. So let's just pray for them. We can all get through this together, you guys, but only with God as the leader. I love you. Keep looking up. Our redemption draws near. Ask Jesus into your heart while you can. I will see you in my next video. Bye.